So here's that final thoughts video for the pre-release days of X and Y. Of course, some people internationally already have it, but here I am in the United States, one of the latest time zone-wise, so not getting the game as of now for another, 8.5 hours. I'm going to go into some more of the things that we've seen since the initial Nintendo Direct, but only things that have been shown by Nintendo, Game Freak, Pokemon, Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and Coro, the official sources. Obviously, they're, the leaked games, and pretty much everything's known at this point, but I'm just going to be talking about these select things. And some more depth into things that we had seen with the Nintendo Direct, but, now we know even more so. So obviously the first thing is 3DS game, so 3D, better battle animation, more dynamic camera and movements and things like that. And, it's a lot that we've seen since then. No changes, but more details. Like, for example, the animations were designed with the idea in mind of them being quote-unquote cute, as opposed to more realistic, which can be seen, but there still is contact, which is more so than we even had in the first stadium games. We're having that to at least certain degrees, like there was in Pokemon Battle Revolution, which I personally am very pleased that we have that. Hopefully we'll go further in another console game or something like that. But for a game that's changing so much, this is definitely a good thing to have. Not a giant leap forward, but one of many smaller steps. In addition to that, there's a movement within the 3D overworld where we have things like diagonal movement. It can say that we're still on a grid, so you can't really walk like a half tile over, from what I understand, but at least we can move in 8 directions as opposed to 4. So your Pokemon's low on health, you gotta try and duck around trainers. You have likely a better chance of doing that now than you would have the past 5 generations, not including Coliseum and XD. And of course we're able to run from the get-go, which is probably something that comes from it being such a 3D environment, which I'm sure ever since the running shoes were introduced, many of us have been griping over the introductory parts of the games where you're forced to walk before you get the running shoes. So now at least we get to speed things up a bit, but it's going to be annoying in second playthroughs, because later on we get the skates, which going even faster than the running shoes, and now running will seem slow by comparison. So don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. Of course there's there's gonna be the bike and stuff, but more importantly is the Pokemon riding, which so far has been officially revealed with Rhyhorn and Go-Goat. I'm sure there are a few others, probably for different environments and stuff, but it's really an interesting concept, because it's something that we've like some people have thought about and wanted for a while. Now we finally got it. Good thing too is that they've shown that you can use it to hop over ledges. Probably only in areas where you need to do that, but it's need to do it to get to something that's may or may not be important, but for the areas where you need to be doing it, which is very nice. Glad to see something like that finally being introduced. There's a player search system. Not really much to say about that as far as I know or am concerned. It seems like it's basically an expanded version of the Sea Gear, so it's not terribly new, but it's still a thing that, it's nice to have and everything. Then we get to some of the more interesting things. I don't know what this will apply to competitive, online play, multiplayer, whatever, but at least for in-game, it's going to be really useful to go into the Pokemon Me. At least I think that's how it's pronounced, the Me, whatever. I think it's playing Mon Ami from French, so it's probably Pokemon Me. So, play with your Pokemon, make them all nice and happy and stuff, and you get to, increase your ability to get critical hits, as well as a higher base evasion stat. Would certainly be helpful in later parts of the game. For the, competitive metagame, multiplayer, etc., there is a super training, which is a great way to work on building up EVs with games instead of just, finding like 100,000 things that have like, 3, +3 EVs for your speed or your HP or whatever you want to build up. If you're hacking, that doesn't really matter, but assuming you want to do things legitimately, this will be a good way to do it, because games are at least something different, and you probably get into them a lot faster than, searching around for an area and then hoping you get the +3 speed EV Pokemon that you want, or your attack like a Machop or something. You know what you're doing, you get it done, and it's something different than what you're doing throughout the normal gameplay. You got the 2 new types of battles, with the Sky battles and the Horde battles. Horde battles are very good for preventing people from doing like the kind of rookie thing I'm certainly guilty of just taking like a starter or something early in the game and just kind of plowing through it without really raising anything else up. I know I did that when I was playing games younger, because I just kind of, it's a lot easier to do it that way. And you got maybe other team members here to kind of switch to for a revive, but you can certainly do that, but the Horde battles kind of stop you in your tracks a bit, and you're gonna start needing to use more things in order to get through the game. You also get the 2 starters from the beginning, your Kalos and Kanto starters, yay K. So that's still going to be printed a bit, but for the younger players, they at least got 2 things to switch between. But hopefully this will, still promote more balanced team play and everything for people who would otherwise slip into that. For people who are conscious of it, it's not going to do too much, but probably just be an annoyance of like, great, I don't have Earthquake or Surf, so now I have to beat everything individually. So you got the pro and cons there, but another thing that's been stated in an interview too is that it is a good way for you have multiple Pokemon, and now you can kind of single out the one that you want to keep. So you get your 5 Houndour, and it's like, alright, well there's one female, I want to take that one so I can breed more Houndour, and get more Houndour, but I still can use male to get egg moves or something. Whatever the situation ends up being. Though there are some breeding changes which I haven't seen any disclosure about them, and even with the game leaks, I'm sure it's kind of a more hidden mechanic that, unless there's an NPC who tells you about it, they're kind of going to have to be figured out, or ripping through the code, one or the other. Sky battles seem interesting. Obviously it's the Levitate and the Flying type, but that doesn't seem to be the exclusive case, because we have seen Mega Charizard X, who, gets Fire Dragon, yay, woo. Think about weaknesses and resistance, especially with Fairy. Not sure how good that typing actually benefits him, but we'll see how things go. got your pros and cons to that, and but doesn't seem like you need to keep flying or levitate, so there might be some tweaks to that. I'd like to see something maybe like Lurk. It can learn fly. It has like the jets in its arm, so I wonder if that can go into sky battles. I don't know if this is known or not. So I don't know if it can be caught in game, and there isn't really. I don't think the transfer is up yet. So kind of see how that goes. See about other things, but it seems like the most important thing is starting off flying. Obviously, Charizard loses it, like I said, but it's still able to participate in sky battles because that's what we first saw it in a gameplay trailer. There was also Pokemon Origins, but in the gameplay trailer, it was in a sky battle. So, if losing it was a problem, then you could, if you get like a really, good stat Pelipper or something, actually I think only Pelipper is the one that's flying and learns Soak, and just make everything water type and they kind of fall out of the sky or something. So it's a quirky thing. We'll see how things like that go. And like I was saying about Charizard, there's Fairy. They're doing a lot of things like tweaking the metagame. Grass types no longer weak to Spore or Powder. Not affected by Spore or Powder moves. Not saying weak. They can't get affected at all by Spore, Sleep Powder, or Sunspore, or Poison Powder, or anything like that. Which is interesting. Electric types not affected by Paralysis, which means we'll probably have to see some tweak on Stunfisk's Limber ability, unless they just want to increase its the early derpiness that some people perceive it to have. It's like, yay, I'm immune to Paralysis both by my type and my ability. They've kind of done that before with Fan Rotom and Delibird having both Vital Spirit and Insomnia, so not always particularly concerned about that, but I don't know. And I don't know what things are catchable from previous generations in game. Some things obviously are going to have to be transferred, like starters and such, but what can and can't be captured, we're going to see. Customization is of course a great feature, picking your checker's skin tone from the get-go, and clothing and such. I wonder if there's going to be like I don't know if there's like a hair thing, anyone out there who knows Animal Crossing, I'm thinking like Shampooodle or something, but see how things like that go. Obviously there's the clothing, which is great because it lets you kind of express yourself in a way similar to, again, Pokemon Battle Revolution, where you could get the costumes and things like that. And of course, we have our Mega Forms. I haven't looked at a full deck, but I've kind of managed to find a lot of things saying that there aren't that many new Pokemon, which I don't think is much of a spoiler, so much as something that raises questions. Were they shorting it because there's so many new Megas? Or have we just not found so many because there are like more Pokemon that are going to regular evolve from previous generations that we simply haven't gotten to yet because of lack of Pokemon Bank, Pokemon Transfer. Either way, Mega Forms are pretty awesome. Got the Mewtwo, Y and X, Charizard, Y and X. I don't know if there are any others. I've stumbled across a few, but I'm not going to mention which ones those are. Seeing new abilities like Parental Bond with Kangaskhan. So I think there's a lot of potential for really good strategies with those, and we'll see what comes up. Not really much more to say about this as far as I can think. I might do a few things later. I think I said this. Impressions actually after playing the game. actually a video I think was relatively popular compared to other ones, so I think these will actually get seen even if no one wants Super Scribble Knots and things like that. Whatever, I'm doing that. I don't have a capture card from my 3DS or anything. I don't really have the money for it, so I can't do like an LP or anything. But I can do more things like this. I could do really terrible quality, like taking a picture of the screen with my phone or something, and stick things in like that. I don't know. I don't think anyone would really want to do something like that because it looks so awful. It can't be taken seriously. But whatever comes up, comes up. And I guess that's it. Another long video, but whatever. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, yay. If you didn't, oh well. Gonna go to the Nintendo World launch event in New York City, which should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that, and just a couple hours, and yay for X and Y. Alrighty, that's it.